Hello everyone and welcome to Autosplit tutorial. This tutorial is here to make you
Got it.
be able to use
All right, two
Autosplit,
fails
set
isn't
it
too
up
bad.
and start using it for your speedruns. This site here I will link to description, so check it out. Here you can download the Autosplit and here is plenty of useful information about the
Yeah, you land
program.
on something that's
So
barely
let's scroll
landable, and then
down a
circle
little
pushes to
bit.
something
So
that's
here we can see in general
on a
what it
circle.
looks like.
Rough.
That once Autosplit sees an image on the game feed, it will hit your split key on live split. I recommend reading this through, not that closely, but just seeing how it works in general. I will be showing everything, well, not everything, but most common stuff in the video.
Hey, even if it
So
breaks
here we
you
can
with normal
see, for
strats,
example, the image coding. Here
oh
is some
man, we're not
stuff
gonna make
about
this.
that, how you need to name the images, how you make the image and such. But first and
Damn.
foremost, we need to get the actual program, and it is here on the right side of the screen. Releases. This is the latest release, which is currently 1.5. Click that to get to this side. Here you can obviously see what they have added for this release, but when you scroll down here, you can see the Autosplit zip file. Download this and extract it to your computer. So here is your extracted file, Autosplit, which is currently the 1.5 version. Open this. There is another file called Autosplit, and this is the file you want to move whenever you want. If that's your computer's files folder, move it there. But this is the base file, which will include the actual autosplit.x. So this is the actual software you're going to use. So once this is the folder you extracted, open this, and then this file you want to have. So move it anywhere you want in your computer to start things off. Once you open the autosplit.x, it will look like this. This kind of window will pop up, and here you can see a lot of different information. Here is on the top side, you can see you can browse your split image folder. Here are some buttons for the region you want to capture. Then here is stuff about the comparison method, and then these values will be used for the image coding. And the global hotkeys, this is something you want to take a look at. So the starts slash split image is something you want to have match your live split key. I use the numpad plus key, so that is why this is plus. So if you don't have the same split key here, this won't work. So you need to match your live split key with autosplit split key. The same thing you can do with reset. That is most convenient to have those at the on the same button. So I use the multiply star, whatever that is. That's my reset button. So these two you want to match with your live split. But these three, please don't. Use some other buttons, or once you have installed the live split, you don't even have these binded just yet. You can just leave them be, because you can, if you ever need to skip split or undo split here on auto split, you can use these buttons as well. So in the beginning, when I started using auto split, I had binded skip split and undo split to match my live split, and that caused a lot of problems when I needed to undo or skip splits. So please don't match these with your live splits keys. Only these first two, start split and reset. Those are the only ones that matters. You can just leave these three be unbinded. Okay, once you got the autosplit installed and you got the software here, the question is how do we get the game feed here visible so we can use our images? Well, there are a couple of options you can do, but first of all, let's get to OBS. Here, this is my game feed I want to use for autosplit. I know some people just want to use the select region, which works, obviously. We can just select this window and then go select the region on the window to get it displayed. But as you can see, when we go to select region, we need to manually select the region, and then here we get some values we want to match. For example, if I knew that this would work perfectly when I have the width as 850 and height as 480, x will be 220, y will be 65, this would be perfect. But because this is, in my opinion, pretty inaccurate especially if you have multiple layouts on your OBS, so you have to, your screen size isn't the same every time.
Sleep time, power man. Right.
That's why I don't want to use select region myself. And what I do instead is when you are on your OBS, you can select your game source, right click it, select window projector. That is how you get a new tab, new window, which only has your game feed. Convenient, right? Now we can select this window and it will be automatically resized perfectly to fit the whole game feed. The whole game feed will be on your autosplit. And what I do to get the image size every time the same, I do this. So I'm going to drag this window to my left side of the screen, so you can see it highlights that it will be covering half of my screen, like this. And then I will right click here, fit window to content, so it will always cover up 1/4 of my screen. And that is what I use for autosplit, to check for the images and stuff. When you got this, you want to go and select this window, and here it is, the game feed. The thing is, there, once you boot up autosplit, sometimes when you select window, it chooses it not that perfectly. It might crop out some stuff. But how to prevent that from happening is first, when you want to select window, I prefer like selecting the actual autosplit window before my game feed, because I had that problem previously, that when I just booted up autosplit, went and selected my game feed window, it changed the size for some reason, which I had to fix by selecting other window and getting back. Like here you can see, once I select this window, this is now perfect size. If I go and select window again, take a look at how this box changes. Like there. It changed completely. It resized the region it will select. So to prevent that from happening is first select autosplit and then select this projector. So you will always get this same result. So this is how you get your game feed to autosplit. Now when we have figured out how do we get our game feed to autosplit, the next thing is to get the images we use that game feed for. So what those images are in general. For example here, this is my image file for Slide 2 episode 1 runs. The autosplit will be looking for these images, and whenever it sees that on the game feed this image will match, it will hit the split key. And that is the basic principle of autosplitter. that whenever the autosplitter sees this image, for example, in slide 2, these job complete screens, which will always be the same, then the autosplit knows that it needs to split. So how you get these images is, first I would recommend you to go to Speedruns community's own autosplit screenshots. You can find the link in the description, I mean on my video's description, and also on Sly Cooper Speedrun Discord from the resources folder. So for example here, if I would like to run slide 3 any percent and use autosplit images, I would go to slide 3 folder. Let's see, what do we got here? Okay, we got multiple different people. Okay, let's see. Okay, any percent here.
Have to tell us about that. You could have.
Let's see, what do we got? Okay, episodes, full game. Let's go full game. And it seems that we got a lot of pictures. So what do you want to do? You want to download this file. Download it, get it on your computer, and you will have the images.
Funny story, the very least.
Once you get the images, you open up your autosplit and go here to the split image folder. Here on the top corner, and you will go and browse for pictures. So let's see, I have this split folder where I have all of my images. Let's go slide 3, any percent, click it. It will not show the images, but this is the split folder, and here are all my images. So let's pick up this folder, and here you can see it changes the destination, and well, so far nothing is happening, but if we were to start autosplitter, here you can see this is my first image for start slide 3. The autosplit would go for. Here is the Cane Island. Here is one of the job complete screens, and so on. So this is how you get the images to your autosplit. So I would recommend checking if you could use any of the community's split images, so you don't need to do your own images. But there is also a case that these images might not work for you, which is unfortunate. But I would recommend checking these images, because there are multiple different people who had uploaded their splits here. I mean split images here. So you can go and check out if you could use those. So how it works is you just go here and download a folder which has all the images. Alright, now when we got the images, we got the game feed, we are pretty much ready to go. So get your live split ready, check that in the settings you have global hotkeys on. Because if you don't have those on, you need to have live split selected all the time. Otherwise, yeah, hitting the split gear here doesn't hit it in the live split. So make sure you have the global hotkeys on. You will also see here is this green background. If you don't have global hotkeys on, you will have this as red. So make sure that is on as well. So we are having the game feed here, ready to go, live split is ready to go, autosplit is ready to go, so let's go and start autosplitter. And I'm gonna get this ready here. The way my slide 3 start image works is it will check when this screen disappears and then have a little delay before it splits. So in the OBS, if you are going to have some run going, make sure you're local recording. And then we are basically ready to go. Let's see how it looks like in the autosplit when we hit X. Like that. So didn't need to hit any keys, only press the X button on PS3 controller and it automatically split. That is how it works in the gameplay. And here we can see the autosplit is actually paused right now, and that is to reduce the CPU usage and better maybe better your PC's performance during autosplits running. So here we can see that right now whatever happens on the game feed, autosplit won't be looking for it. It will be paused for 260 seconds still here. So keep that in mind as well. Let's take a closer look to the split images and how do you code them to work perfectly. First of all, in the beginning of every image there is a number that will make these in order. Like here I will have 300 as the first split, the next one is 301, 302 and so on. That makes that it will order the images in the actual image folder correctly. And yeah, you can also use alphabets as well if you are having a dummy image, which I will go back to soon. So you can also use alphabets here. For example, I have the same number for this one split, but the dummy has A, the actual split image has B. So you can use those as to make these in order.
Just do that and then
so,
use the costume everywhere else.
There are multiple different stuff here in the image coding.
And just not even attempt the jump.
So for example, this my start image. Okay, 300 start. Then there's some stuff, 770.
With
okay,
sprint, yeah.
0.95, 310. Okay, what's all this about? Here in the Autosplit webpage, you can there is plenty of stuff about all this coding, and I really recommend reading this chapter here because this introduces most of this stuff. So for example, let's start things. Of course, first there is the number here to make the things in order. Then I have some sort of a name, so I can, without, if I don't see the image, I can see, okay, this is my start image. And here I can see, okay, lemon rates images here. So that is why I also name these after the number. Then, if you see this kind of stuff, that whatever this is, hashtag, I don't know the actual term, between two hashtags there is some kind of number, it makes the split delayed. So, and these are in milliseconds. So, for example, this first image, there will be 770 milliseconds before it actually splits. So, when autosplit hits this image, it will be waiting for 770 milliseconds before it actually hits the split key in live split. So that is this you can use if you want to adjust the split times. The next one is the similarity threshold value. You can see here there is plenty of stuff about similarity. Custom threshold, that is all about that. And what it means is that when we have some stuff on the game feed, and let's see, here will be the live similarity, and it will tell how much does this look like this one, and it changes when the game feed changes. You can see here in the actual gameplay it is around 0.8. When I get to PS menu it will be 0.72, and once it goes past the similarity value set here, which for example I have like slide 4 episode 1 start image, which is 0.92. Once that, you can see the live similarity here, when it goes past that value it will hit the image.
Oh, no.
So that is maybe the most important value in when it comes to coding the splits. So that is that. And that is something you might need to adjust also a little bit. So let's see. Okay, here in the general gameplay it's about 0.89. So here we can also adjust the value in live split. Let's see, it will now be 0.085. Let's get back to the gameplay. And you can see it actually hit the highest similarity. Hit that value, it was actually 0.90. So that is that. That is the indicator for autosplit when to split and when to not. And by adjusting the similarity values, you can make these very accurate. Then the next value is the pause time, how long autosplit will be paused. And you will use these here. So for the similarity, you will have these
again, I swear to God.
parentheses. Yes, I can English. And then for the pause time, you will have square brackets. And then again, in milliseconds, in seconds. These are in seconds, and in the delay, these are milliseconds. So, for example, after the start image of slide 3, I have 310 seconds before autosplit checks for the next one.
Nice while it lasted.
And if you are running Sly games, you most likely are going to have the pause time that matches the community goal, and it's reduced about like 10 seconds from that. So it will only start looking for the next image when it is possibly the fastest, when it might hit.
Alright,
so that is how we try to reduce CPU usage for autosplit. So the pause time is there.
Time save, let's go.
With the square brackets. Then the last one, we have these curly brackets. Here we are identifying what kind of image it is we are talking about. So for example, this first one, here we can see, okay, there is B, there is M, what do those mean? Let's go here. This is, remember, this is the main page in the video description, you can see. Let's see, okay, B, okay, split, okay, it hits when the threshold goes, okay, it goes below the threshold, interesting. So how it works here is that when I get my slide 3 new game menu, it will actually go over 0.95, and when I hit X there, this screen will go away, so the value goes below this and then it hits. So that is it's about something like backwards working. So that is B. Then there is D, which is very useful if you're having, you need to use some sort of image before the actual split image.
Oh my god.
For example, in slide 2 and slide 3, we use black bars for some splits, for example operations. And because the black bars appear in most cutscenes, before the actual splitting black bars, you want some sort of other images that needs to be hit before. So for example here for episode 2, I have 2 dummy images. The first one will hit after the Carmelita section, and then the second one is for the first appearance of black bars. So here you can see D, D. These won't actually hit the live split in the live split, but this will hit in auto split.
I don't know how this is gonna fare compared to last time.
Then, well, once these two have been hit, it will actually be looking for this final one. And here is no D, so this will actually hit in the live split as well. So the dummy images are useful for some splits. Then there is the M, masked. So if there's any kind of transparency in your image, you have to add the M there. If you don't add that, the transparency will be filled with black background, and that most likely is not going to work. So for example here, my Cane Island split is looking for Dr. M's health bar, and there is nothing else on the image. It is all transparent. It will only look for this part of the screen. So that is why I need to ask add this M here.
Anymore, but
so it will tell Autosplit this is a masked image, it has transparency. But for example here, this image does not have any kind of transparency, so there is no need to add anything there in the end. So that is the basic coding, and I think with those you should be good to go. So what if you you have downloaded the images from the community, Google Drive, but those just don't seem to work with your setup?
See what you'd be.
Well, first of all, check out if you have the correct comparison method. It has probably been listed when you download the images, but usually it is L2 norm, so make sure you have the correct comparison method here. But even after that, if you just can't seem to get correct similarity values, try to tweak those, maybe lower the similarity, and if you are getting like early splits or stuff, then maybe see if you need to go higher with the similarity. So you can test it and see if you get those working. One last option is that you would do your own images, and I like doing my own images that just to get consistent results and consistent splitting. So what I do is I use the take screenshot function on Autosplit.
Oh, is it Pottermore?
When pressing this button, it will take a screenshot out of the area you have selected. So in this case, it will take a screenshot out of this area here, and it will be perfectly sized for your usage for the as a Autosplit image. So if I would take screenshot now,
I mean, technically, so there's 8.
Well, my computer likes to open the image
Harry Potter spin-off movies
already. Your computer might not. It's probably changing, but this is the screenshot I get.
There's like,
and where does it go for? To your split image folder that is selected here. So currently it's my slide 3 80% folder. So here you can see, here is the image we just took. So that way you can get images. For example, the job complete screens. You want to go to one job, finish it, and once the job complete screen gets there, you want to press take screenshot button. You can spam it pretty much, take multiple screenshots to hope that at least one is good enough. So you don't need to time it perfectly, you can just spam it for a while and then delete the images you don't need anymore. That is how I do my images. So let's do an example. I want to do an image where I have the save icon of slide 3, which is the Tivius raccoonus, which appears to bottom left corner. One way to get that save icon is to go to one of the Master Thief challenges and then exit to game menu. That will make the save icon to pop up. So let's do that. So once I press X, I want to start taking screenshots, so I might get a good picture. So let's see. So there I pressed probably like 7 times the take screenshot button. Let's see what do we got. Okay, looks pretty nice. Here is one image I would be happy to use with the white flash of the save icon. This was pretty early. Here you can see the small flash. But if I wanted to make a new image for the save, I could probably use this one. So then I will just delete everything else I took to just have this one image left, and then go remove the background in some picture editor, whatever you want to use. I use GIMP for that. You can use Photoshop if you have it. It's up to you, but that is how you get the images and this by the take
Terrified, this is
screenshot
serious
function.
business. Kitchens.
I'm going to show you
Room
real
requirement. Room
quick
requirement's
how
basically
to
like
get
anything.
the transparent pictures with GIMP.
It's a room
So
in the Harry Potter universe.
once we have
in
taken the
school
screenshot,
where,
we want
it basically turns into whatever you need.
Let's
So
drag it
whatever the
here.
person
You
requires
can also
is that
open
that's
it
what the room
from
is.
the
So
file
somebody walks
select
by, they need
menu,
a
but you can
bathroom, it's a
also drag it
bathroom.
if
Somebody
you have
walks
the
by, they
windows
need a library,
already.
it's an extra library. Sort of thing.
If you want transparency,
Somebody needs a place
first
to
of
hide
all
from
we
the
want
bullies,
to
it
go
turns into a
here
closet.
to the layer, right click, add alpha channel. This is in Finnish, but don't worry, this will all be in the same order. So add that to get the transparency. Then what we want to do is just to crop this thing. So what I usually do is press F to get this this kind of tool, which you can start just
No, it can only be used by one, or it can only be in one configuration at a time.
seeing the borders, clicking it. Let's see.
But it can be used by multiple people.
This is just an example, so I'm not going
Just
to make this
one
that accurate.
configuration though.
So let's do this kind of stuff and then connect this. If you are having like a rectangle or
It's gonna
something, you
be
can
a
also
horny channel.
use the other
No.
options here. But I'm usually, if there is some kind of shapes, for example this book has its unique shape, I'm going to use this
Hufflepuff.
feature.
Hufflepuff is like
So now we have
loyalty
selected
and
this.
stuff.
What then? If we press Ctrl and I on the keyboard, it
They're
will
like the
switch the
loyal,
selection to select
friendly
the
people.
surrounding area. So Ctrl
They live
plus
by the
I.
kitchen.
Now it has, once it has selected the surrounding area, which we can also, if you don't
Wow,
want
what
to
great movement.
do Ctrl plus I, you
Amazing
can
movement.
go right click, select, and here you can see the Ctrl plus I command here, but it is like reverse.
Yeah, loyal is
It will do. So
Hufflepuff,
once it has
intelligent
selected the
is
surrounding, I can just press delete, and voila, here we have
Ravenclaw.
the
Brave is
icon is
Gryffindor,
there,
and then cunning
and now we can export
slash
this
ambitious
image
is like Slytherin.
to somewhere, for example.
Gryffindors are like brave, like
let's
Gryffindors
just,
are like the jocks of Hogwarts.
press
Like,
that, so it will just
they're the sporty.
remove the action of
sporty house.
previous image and then have this save icon there. And now
yeah,
you can
jock
just
squad.
name it however you want, code it. If you have already like the downloaded images that won't work, you can use the names instead. For example, if you had downloaded my images, you could just go and copy the names for a image and then paste it to your new image, and that should then work with the same coding. So even though if you don't get the images to work, you can use the coding of the images, which means the names of the images, for your favor. But that was just a quick tutorial how you can make the images transparent on this software.
Live in towers. So I got a good view of everything.
So hopefully this tutorial helps you to get started with the Autosplit program. If there's anything you need to ask about this, please make me sure to ask in the comment section, or in Discord you can DM me as well if you have anything you need to know, that there is maybe some troubleshooting that you don't get something to work. Make sure to DM me or ask some other members of the community. One thing I can add still in the Autosplit folder is that you can check this box too. If you don't want to see the live region capture here, you can just uncheck this box, just to make you know. But yeah, that's all about it, about the tutorial. Thank you for the watching,
and the epilogue will have a minute and a half
I will
of
see you
golds to
with the
play
next tutorial.
Assuming I don't
Bye bye.
choke this split.